Well, I gotta tell you, even Sadie Katz showing her tits in this movie could not save this movie. Hey guys, welcome to Happywax TV. So, I'll be honest, I wasn't gonna watch this flick when it came out, but I had a few of you ask me if I'd seen it and if I could do a review on it, and I thought, okay, I'm all about the subscribers, so I'll sit down and I'll watch this movie and I'll do my best to fight through it. And I'll tell you, I didn't hate this movie. I mean, I didn't overly like it either, and there's a lot wrong with it, and I'll get to that in a minute. But at the end of it, I didn't shut it off like I did with Veronica and say, what the fuck did I just watch? Do you know what I mean? Like, anyways, also too, if I can say this, and I've already said it in other reviews, the clown movies need to fucking stop. Honestly, they are on the same level right now as a zombie flick, for me anyways. I mean, yes, there's a few good ones out there, like Andrew Machete's It, not the second one because it was a pile of shit, but 2014's The Clown. We have movie, like Haunt that just came out last year, which was fantastic. And there's a few other ones too, but for the most part, I mean, you've got movies like Clownado, Wrinkles the Clown, that atrocity that fucking Bill Moseley starred in late last year called Creptus or Septus, whatever the fuck it was. Gags the Clown, Circus Kane, Clownter, like, really, I mean, these movies look, and this is just my opinion, but this is what I think, okay? Because all these movies, if you look at where they're shot, that's all around the Los Angeles area for the most part. I swear the producers got together, because I don't know this, I'm just making it up, but it could have this is what I'm thinking, is that some circus in the Los Angeles area went bankrupt, and these producers came in and bought all the props that this circus had. Because I'll tell you, in a lot of these movies, and this movie too, Clown Fear, the actual sets and the props look killer. They really do. Do you know what I mean? So I don't know if there's like a big storage room where, like I said, where all these producers got together and bought some bankrupt circus and they just pick and choose what they want for their movies. Because, I mean, they can't be pumping a lot of movies or money into these flicks. But goddamn, you know what I mean? Other than the props, I mean, for the most part, these movies are fucking not very good. Oh, but Clown Fear. Okay, so I'm going to tell you what I did like about this movie was the actresses that are in it. It's written in part by Sadie Katz, who stars in it, and you'll recognize her face if you watch a lot of B horror movies. I really do like her. She's a great actress. In fact, I'll put a cast list up on the screen here. I mean, just go down the list. There are, like, it's just chock full of A-list B-movie, actresses and actors. There's a few actors in here, one most notably who also starred in Rotten Tail. I mean, dude, you just need to pack it in, because every time you're on screen, it's cringeworthy. The way this guy acts. I'm not going to fucking name names, but his acting is almost as bad as if I would be in a movie, because I know I can't act, but apparently this guy thinks he can, and it's fucking horrible. Every time he's on fucking screen, it just makes me cringy so bad. But that aside, the female cast in this movie do a fantastic job. So, I mean, for the most part, the acting isn't the issue here, okay? I mean, it's the script that they're given, okay, is a little sketchy, but what really brings this movie down is the length of it and the editing. Okay, I went on IMDb and I looked up who the editor was. I don't recognize his name, but and I don't, dropping names here, but Asif Akbar. Now, I don't know if that's a stage name or if that's his real name. I apologize. I don't mean to insult, but I'm telling you, dude, this is terribly fucking edited. If you could not find, this movie is 10 minutes shy of 2 hours, okay? God, honestly, if you could not find 30 minutes to trim this fucking movie down, you do not deserve to have the right as an editor. Now, I also know he was a producer on this movie, which is probably why he was the editor, to save money. And I think he was like the main producer. But goddamn, man, there is no way you can expect people to sit in front of this movie for almost 2 fucking hours. And I'll be honest, I had a hard time. You're going to lose the majority of your audience in the first act, because it was just a long, drawn out fucking mess. It really was. Okay, as we get into the second act and we get to like the hotel where the clowns are and stuff, it kind of picks up a bit. But that first act, you're going to lose probably 75 to 80% of your fucking audience, because the editing in this movie is absolutely amateurish and it's fucking terrible. Like, Jesus Christ, at least if you're going to make a movie like this and you want it to work, bring somebody in that knows what the fuck they're doing. Because the whole time, this is what took me out of this movie. Because really, the acting in this movie, for the most part, is pretty good. Some of the clown acting and the one gentleman who I don't want to name, I mean, their acting's always sketchy, but whatever. But the women in this movie carry it for the most part. You know what I mean? Like, every female actress in this movie is fucking good, really. But it's just the length, and the editing is fucking terrible. I mean, the director or the direction is okay. There's a few scenes where the actresses and the actors don't know, or it looks like they don't know what they're going to say next, but whatever. Again, it's a low budget B horror movie. But goddamn, man. I've said this before, fly me into your fucking movie. I will edit your fucking movie. If you trimmed 30 minutes off of this movie, you'd have a pretty good fucking clown horror movie here, okay? But, I mean, you expect us to sit for almost 2 hours watching this. I'm like, what the fuck are you thinking? It just made this movie from, like, a not too bad movie into a pretty terrible movie, just because it's too long and the editing is fucking atrocious. But anyways, and very quickly, I mean, the synopsis is really simple. It's about this man and woman going to get married. The guy finds the woman's, or the bride's cell phone, who is Sadie Katz, finds the cell phone, and there's like a message on it saying, I'm going to keep your panties as a tip for last night. So he thinks that she fooled around on him, you know what I mean, because of that. And again, who wouldn't, you know what I mean? So, but it wasn't. It turns out they hired a stripper for their stag and doe party or whatever, and it was a stripper that said that, not a man. So, but before he finds that out, he cancels the wedding and, tells her to get lost and blah, blah. So her and the bridesmaids go, and they just go on this trip, and they end up at this hotel that's a clown-themed style, and that's where the second act picks up. And we're given a quick background history of these clowns at the very beginning, that they don't like outsiders, and they have their own kind of religion and cult, from their past history on that land and stuff. That part isn't really addressed a whole lot. It's like I said, we're given glimpses of it, and there's a speech that the father clown gives at one of the ceremonies in the third act that kind of gives a little bit of background history. And there's like a spa scene, you know what I mean, where all the girls are sitting in the spa, and one of the kids comes up and gives another background history of what happened there and stuff like that. So it's little things like that show me that, like, there was effort put into this movie. It wasn't, you know what I mean? But I would have liked to see a little more gore. I mean, I thought for all this massive cast that they have here, I thought it was going to be a bloodfest. And to be honest with you, I mean, there were some scenes, like the normal, like, bat smashing the head and the hammer to the head and some cutting throats and stuff. But for the most part, I mean, it was pretty tame on the gore, which was actually kind of disappointing because I wanted to see more of it. So anyways, yeah, an hour and 50 minutes? No fucking way, dude. You could easily trim this down to an hour and 20, and you... Honestly, I think if you did, because right now, me sitting in front of this laptop, it's showing a 3.3 rating on IMDb. Honestly, if you trimmed a half an hour off this movie, I bet you it's up near a 5, maybe a 6. You know what I mean? Like, for me to give it a rating, I'm going to give it a 5.5. Yeah, again, the women in this movie did a great job. They honestly did. Not just because they were naked in some parts. I'm saying the acting. Sadie Katz, and again, I put the cast list on, so just go through and you'll recognize a lot of the faces if you watch a lot of B horror movies. So, I mean, the cast I had no issue with, other than the one guy, but, I mean, goddamn, man. I don't mean to dwell on the editing, but it was fucking terrible, and it really did bring this movie down. I don't care if you're a producer or the main producer or whatever the fuck it was. Get somebody in there that knows what they're doing. So, anyways... That's all I'm going to say about this Clown Fear. Again, go watch it. You'll see exactly what I mean. I'm not over-exaggerating here when I'm talking about the length and the editing. But yeah, give it a go. It's out now. It's called Clown Fear. If you've seen it, let me know what you guys think of it. And if you haven't seen it, please go rent it. I mean, we're talking $5 here. Do you know what I mean? But again, you're going to have a hard time sitting through the first act. I almost shut it off, to be God honest. It's just, the first act, there's just scenes that are just way too fucking long. So if you can get through that first act, I'm pretty sure you'll enjoy the second and third act. Keep in mind, this is a B-horror movie. But anyways, check it out and get back to me. Let me know what you think, guys. And as always, stay scared.